Hi, this is Gary from Southeast Texas, kind of north of Beaumont. Today it's going to be a different type of video. I'm going to be showing how to grill pork loin and make it more, I guess, for older folks. That way it's a way to make it where it's really tender, and so it's not as, because sometimes your pork loins can get not only dry, but they can also get tough. So here's kind of my grilling setup. This is a Weber grill that we've got. I will be using indirect heat, so I'll put the coals on both sides. I'm using some of the Classic briskets. Use some top quality briskets. You know, don't try to cheap out too much on it, because it does affect the taste of the meat later on. And let's back up a little bit. The way I start it, got a little fire starter here. Got a little chimney that goes into it. You just set that on top. I started out like this because what I'll do is now I'm going to go in there and prepare the meat while this here is heating up and getting hot. So we'll go inside now. Okay, I have to turn off the dishwasher. We're going to try it again. The reason I use pork loin when I do like church activities, you've got a bird club meeting, or if we got 4-H or whatever, it's a cheap meal to do. This here, you got to get them on sale, but your pork loin is one of the cheapest pieces of meat that you can get. We got this one from Kroger. You know, it's regularly would be $12 for this packet. On sale it was for $1.79 a pound. It's $7.72 a pound. $7.72 for the package. So this piece of meat costs $8, and we get several cuttings off of it. Now the way I usually cut it, you want it where it's not completely thawed out. That usually doesn't happen. This is actually, I think, pretty good with it. Just wrong. I'll put this so my hands won't get slippery. You can cut them fairly thick, because if you cut them thick and after you get through grilling them, you can always cut them in half. Now if you'll notice, there's hardly any fat whatsoever on the inside of this. That means that the meat is going to have a tendency to be dry, and we're going to cook these puppies to where we're not going to have any problem with anybody getting sick. I do cut them fairly thick, because I will, when I get through, probably break them in half, or cut them in half, or sometimes break them in half. They will be. It's going to almost be, when we get through with them, sort of like a roast. Again, I did it whenever we was, I kind of started this deal when I was a youth pastor back when I was in my 30s. And don't cut yourself. But I actually we were cooking up steaks, sirloin steaks, for dinner for the church. And we had a metal grill that had a flat top on it, so I was making several at one time. So I just took the meat and set it on top of the grill as it was cooking, so it continued to cook at a low rate, and it was covered in foil, so it kept most of the moisture in there. And so that was whenever we started cooking for the older people. They all bragged on us it was the best steak they ever had because it was so tender, and it was. Now the one thing about it, kind of secret to it, is we're going to put these in a crock pot. The longer you cook in the crock pot, the drier they're going to get. So you're starting to trade off tenderness and dryness. So usually I keep them in there about 4 hours, but right now we're just going to be, I use the saltgrass seasoning. Is that in focus? Okay. Okay. Second thing I'm going to say, one reason for that is there's the ingredients for it. So there's not any, artificial stuff that I can see that's in it. It's just simple ingredients. I'll read in case it doesn't come through. If I can read, it's kosher salt, black pepper, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, dry mustard, and garden thyme. So that's the only ingredients that's in it. So it makes it pretty simple. It is to me, one of the better tasting ones. And ironically, if you live around this area, one of the cheapest places to buy it is at Market Basket, which is one of the higher places. Second cheapest place is Kroger, and surprisingly the highest place tends to be HEB. Why, I don't know, but it seemed like for this, and the price for this ranges from $5.99 I think at Market Basket to $6 something at Kroger, and it's $7.99 last I checked at HEB. Most, when you get this size of specialties type stuff, usually they're running $10, $12, something of that nature. So it is one of the cheaper ones, but I actually like it better than any of the rest of them. We also put it on chicken. Like I say, of course, you always put on steak since they are a steakhouse. but don't be too stingy with the stuff, with the seasoning, because some of it's going to come off. I do usually put it on a separate board because this board is wet, and you want to kind of keep it as dry as you can where you're putting the meat on the grill. Now we'll go out and look to see how the fire's doing.
Going.
We got detained a little bit, so the fire kind of burnt down somewhat. I've got these separated. You should use gloves when you're doing this because it will burn your hands somewhat. And what I like about the Weber, you can do this when you're grilling it. You put more in if you need to. You also use the indirect heat. Come over here, son. Come over here. We're going to set this in here like this. Have a little bit of room between them so that we can vent. And these sat longer than I wanted them to. But we had to run back to the store. There's a miscommunication. I won't say who did it because she gets mad when I say she did stuff. But anyway, I plan on having 2 of these. Where'd you put the others in, my son?
Inside.
Okay.
I did.
And we're just going to put it, I put the Zumos in here between it. And just set it on there. And it's going to take a little while to heat them up. And then when we get through with, we're cooking them on here, I'll show you how we put them in the crock pot. Okay, this is the Zumo sausages that we cook. They're a good quality sausage. You don't get the bones in them or whatever. They got all kinds of preservatives in it. So, but they taste good. And I'll let these cook. The pork loins will be on the outer side so they get a little more heat than the other ones. And just kind of set it in here. And we'll wait. I am pushing because we're running out of time. We're late today, but we'll figure it all out. Once they cook it, I'll flip them over and then I'll show you how we do it on the inside with the crock pot. And then you're supposed to kind of let them go 4 hours. We're not going to be able to get that much time today in, but we'll cook them enough that they'll be safe to cook. Always got to be careful with your pork chops, but you'll get the idea. Like I say, they may not be quite as tender as I'd like them to be, but anyway, we do the best we can. Okay, one thing to always remember: your Zumos are going to cook faster than your pork chops. So I'm going to take these out. Tell you what, son. I'm going to put some barbecue sauce on these. Hold that, it's hot. Touch it, hot. I think I was on it, son. You want to put it back in the house. Okay, and we turn these over. So these are looking pretty good. That's kind of the way color I like. These here, I'll flip them this way so they'll be closer to the fire. You can kind of tell there. And we'll let them cook a little bit longer. Okay, and I'm going to put some barbecue sauce on the links to give them a little bit more flavor. This is absolutely wild barbecue sauce. It's made in West Texas. It is the hotter type. It is not the sweet barbecue sauce. It's more what you call a Texas barbecue sauce, made for putting on briskets and things of that nature, but it also works good on here. And just sprinkle some on. Like that, and I give it a different taste. And then we'll just leave this in here just to keep them hot. It will also make them skins a little bit tenderer, kind of makes the meat mushier. You know, it's kind of a trade-off. But I do like leaving it in there. That way you don't have that stuffy skin. And we'll leave it alone there till we're supposed to have the deal tonight at 6. Right now it's right at 4 o'clock. It's supposed to be there at 5. It takes 45 minutes to get there. As you see, we're kind of behind. But anyway, I'll show you what I do with the pork chops next. Thank you.
Again.
Okay, now this is about how you want them to look whenever you're cooking them. You kind of checking on these. They're looking pretty good. I am going to cut these in half because you take them into a group. People should normally not going to eat that much. Now if they want to eat that much, that's fine, but what I found, if you cut these things in smaller pieces, they'll go further, because bless their heart, they got a little kid, they say, hey, I want a piece, and I'll give them something like that, and that kid ain't going to eat that much stuff. So you cut it smaller, he only gets a small piece. And really that's nobody's fault or the guy preparing them, because if kids want something, you know, you want to be able to get a small piece. So we're going to go back inside and I'll put them in the crock pot. Okay, so the last part of it is put them in there in the crock pot. I put some water in here. That way it's not going to crack your ceramic bowl. Cut them in half. See, they're already cooked all the way through. And I'll set them in here. Some of them I may cut 3 of them. This gives people a variety of sizes. Like I said, I don't have as many as I normally have, so I'm going to have to be a little bit more judicious. Let's see, I probably need a little more water than I probably needed, but I'm trying to get that water heated up so I can get enough juices going. I may add just a little bit more of the seasoning when I get through, just so it'll all get in there. I mean, if I was just doing it for somebody coming over, and you know, I wouldn't cut them like this and give everybody a whole piece. One thing I do want to show, this stuff here, I always pour that in there. That's the juices that come out of it, and that's some really good stuff. So I'm going to take a little bit of the 7 seasonings, pour it in there, and then I'll be ready to go. So that's how we do it, and hope if you liked the video, hit like. It is a little bit different video than we normally do, and you know, when you get through these things, you can take them by your hand, just break them apart. They're really tender. Anyway, thanks for watching.